Welcome back to another episode of Modular Wild. I am Raul. If you were with us in the last segment, the part 1 with the MST Dual Envelope, you saw us kind of going through kind of the looping envelope mode up at our scope, which is currently vacant. We were seeing how the attack and decay and attack and sustain release will affect sort of the shape of your output CV. We talked about short and long versus AD versus ASR, and then showed a little bit with the output level. This time I wanted to focus more on the inverted output here, and just go a little more in depth with it, since in the profile video and the sounds video that I put out for this module here, I didn't really get a chance to demo that little feature, and it's kind of a cool feature, so thought you should check it out. Now, right now, we don't have any sound yet. If you're kind of curious what's going on in this patch, I would urge you to check out part 1 first, just so you know. And if you are not really concerned with what's going on in the patch and you just want to watch it, then by all means. So I'm going to patch out from here, and we should get a little bit of sound. Let's see. Yep, output. Yeah, turn off my output level, though. And if you look up at our scope, you can kind of see that's the current CV that's being generated at our dual envelope. Now, I'm not triggering it at any specific interval. Like, as you see, none of the gate inputs are being triggered externally. It's just kind of running in its self-looping mode. And now let's patch our second sound source just so we can kind of hear where we're starting. So there we go. That's envelope 1, envelope 2 right after it. Okay, now we're only looking at envelope 1 right now. And that's kind of how I'll keep it, I think. So now let's check out the inverted. So we know what that should look like, right? Actually, no, I think I want to show you both. So we may have to switch this up a little bit. So it'll be much more interesting if we can see both envelopes. So I'm going to take the inverted out, envelope 1, and then I'm going to patch up to the second input of my scope. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. There we go. Now let me just switch my mode on my scope so we can see both. There we go. So good old green is our inverted envelope, and the top one is our normal envelope. So you can kind of see them happening simultaneously. So red is actually what we're hearing for that little melody line that's going up and then down. But let's hear what it sounds like when we take the inverted envelope and patch it into that same sound. Now, initially, we probably won't hear anything, which, yeah, we're not hearing anything there. But the dual envelope has this kind of cool feature where you can bring your envelope into the positive realm. But to do that, you need to flip this switch first. So you can see kind of where the green envelope is right now, right? So if I switch this, I can kind of see I've brought the slope up about +5. And I have a little bit of a different sound. Now I can go in and tweak it however I want, or whatever kind of sound I need. I want a short or a long. I want an AD or ASR. There we go. And you can do the same kind of technique with envelope 2 if you wanted to. Right now I'm just actually using envelope 1. Now if I don't have that enabled, let me say just turn that off, right? then the output level still controls output level. Like if I bring output level down, you should see our green envelope kind of shrink. There it is. So depending on what you're feeding this to, you can kind of still adjust the subtlety or the intensity of your envelope going to your destination. All right. So let me bring the output level back up, and let me take out the inverted out, and then patch back into regular envelope. All right. Moving right along. So let's try something else. Maybe let's get some gates going on. So I have a gate over here at output number 6, or step 6. So let's trigger this. We'll actually speed up our sequence a little bit. I may need to get a little more translatable envelopes over here. Our sequence is going quite fast right now. And I think I brought it all the way back to the same one, so let's try a little smaller. Maybe like right there, showing us one envelope. And I don't think we need to see the inverted one anymore, so let me unpatch that. Switch back to my other mode. Back to single. There we go. And let's see. I'll just unpatch this. And then patch back in. So we can kind of get that normal envelope again. There we go. Type K. Output. Okay, so we're using gate 6 to trigger envelope 1. And nothing really substantial over here triggering envelope 2. But we can still hear it, so not a bad thing. So let's try maybe taking the clock and firing gate 2. And then let's try taking, let's see, just take the pulse out, kind of like I did in that sounds demo, into the second input. And then take the inverted out at envelope 2. You patch it into pulse width modulation. Let's try that. And bring up the level of that. So let's try inverted envelope 1, because we can actually see that over there. And we're not really seeing too much of the oscilloscope, so bring the output level up. There we go. Change the envelope a little. There we go. Get that a little more subtle, shaping it. And then of course now I'm pretty much utilizing quite a bit of the features from it. Taking my inverted envelope here, firing it into pulse width modulation right there. You can kind of hear that changing over here with the pulse wave going into our mixer at the output. I don't have anything really cool to take the end of cycle from here and then fire with. I did think for a moment, hey, I'll take the end of cycle over there, but then basically I think my sequence will stop if I try that. We can try it. Let's see. Actually, let's try firing it into the quantizer. This will basically only then quantize whenever it sees a trigger from there. That's why you kind of see the light going, and that's the only time you hear a note. But it may be going a little too fast, so let me try and slow it down a little. This is just an experiment, any kind of concrete plan or anything like that. But I'm sure you can come up with a lot of different possibilities for this and some interesting ways that you can kind of utilize this in your Eurorack system. I've been fairly happy with the way this little guy performs as an AD and ASR, so that will probably be staying in my rack for quite a bit. At any rate, I hope you found this demo useful. Let's see. If you're not entirely sure what was going on here and some of the stuff we were talking about, I do encourage you to watch some of the other videos on the playlist for this video, the dual envelope, like the profile video that kind of tells you just an overview of the features on the dual envelope, and then the sounds video, which kind of shows just a couple of basic things, very similar to what was in part 1 of these 2 demos that I did on the dual envelope, and any other videos that you find interesting on Modular Wild. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.